Welcome to R&R, Relationships in Real Estate. I'm your host, Chris Silva, and this is my beautiful wife, Corey Silva.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on R&R. Chris and I are the owners of Silva Realty and Silva Lending, and we've been in the real estate and mortgage industry since the early 2000s. We're super excited to be here today and to have y'all with us. Happy summer. Hi, Monica. Happy Wednesday to you. And she asked us, how was Disneyland? Disneyland was amazing.
We'll get into the whole Disneyland 3-day debacle a little bit later.
Debacle. It was filled with magic around every corner. I loved it. It was so much fun. I can't wait until you start going back. What are you waiting on, girl? Let's go.
Let's make it happen.
And I hope you're feeling okay. How are you feeling? She wasn't feeling well last week, so I hope you're getting better. So it is the third week of June, y'all.
We're halfway through the month already.
Halfway through the year.
Halfway through the year. Goodness.
Yeah.
And summer starts, I believe, next week. The official start to summer is on the 21st.
It's already been here. It is so hot outside. This is insane.
We got to dodge some of that heat the last 3 days, so that was pretty nice.
Well, yeah, when we went on our little getaway, I was stuck in Santa Clarita still with these triple digits that we're experiencing, and I packed no pants for our kids. And it was chilly there. There was like a lot of overcast, and I felt like I failed as a mom because I didn't have extra clothes for them.
You just got that mom guilt all the time.
I sure
You take
do.
it everywhere you go.
Ugh.
So this is an extra long month then.
Yes.
Because we're already in our third week of the month. I mean, we're only halfway through. How does that make sense? I needed my calculator for this one.
Or your calendar so you can look at it and figure it out. There's still 2 weeks to go. How are you feeling so far?
So that's a loaded question. How am I feeling? I just got back from 3 days at Disneyland, so I'm feeling really tired right now.
Aww.
But for the month, for work, I'm super energized. But physically, I'm a broken man right now.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. What a month it has been. For those of you who have joined us last week, you know we took a little weekend trip to Disneyland. And after 3 days, Chris is feeling it. He's definitely feeling it in his body. I mean, while we're there, poor guy, his leg and his back is killing him. So, poor guy. I mean, he's got the Disney hangover. And he's recovering right now. But guess what? I don't have a Disney hangover. I feel glorious.
I was thinking about that as we were walking and I'm in excruciating pain. I was like, it would be nice to be like these normal people that just get a walk without any of that stuff, right? It'd be really cool. So it's like a sciatic thing. It's a nerve thing because it shoots from my back to my knee, to my leg, to my hip. But I did my best. I made it without the scooter for 3 days. I probably shouldn't have pushed it that much, but I did.
Honestly, everybody, before we go again, I need you to remind him he's getting the scooter. What is the point of torturing yourself? Don't you want to be happy at the happiest place on earth?
You know what it is I see the people that are in the scooter, right? And I just don't want to be in that group right now. I'm not ready for that. It's usually like, the older people, right? Mm-hmm. The older people, or, the people that look like they need it, like they have an injury or like they got their leg wrapped up or something's going on. I'm just going to fake it. I'm just going to walk through, grimace a little bit. I'm pretty good about not complaining the whole time we're there. I have to stop and sit down. I get a lot of breaks. But I think I'm pretty good about not complaining while I'm there. What do you think?
Yeah, he doesn't complain. It's just, I know you're in pain, so I feel bad for you.
It's fine.
It's quiet most of the time. Probably internally fighting off the pain or something.
I try not to be negative. I'm not negative. But yeah, I know a lot of people are going through that. Like it's a common thing that millions and millions of people go through, like a sciatic nerve thing.
Oh, it's horrible.
It just is what it is. You just deal with it.
Oh my goodness. So, well, Disneyland was amazing. And before we get into Disneyland, we have a bone to pick with Tesla. Well, I do anyways. I don't know how you feel about Tesla.
Well, before Tesla, so I think we're angry with Tesla. This is a love-hate right now because Tesla's ruined the car experience for our other car because the technology is so superior to Lexus.
Yes.
That we really don't like that car, right? Because the technology's
so
inferior to
nice.
Tesla, right? So love Tesla for that. Tesla is so great that I thought I had that car for myself, and Corey drives it more than I do, which is totally fine. She loves the car. But we got lucky in hindsight because the day before we're supposed to leave to Disneyland, we're driving around running some errands, and the air conditioner went out. Has anybody experienced that?
I don't know. Anybody else who's driving Tesla, have you experienced this loud noise while you're sitting waiting for someone to get in the car and then the AC goes out? And when you need a repair done, you have to go on their app and submit the request, which Chris did. And we had to wait till today before we're actually going to get service on it.
Today was the first appointment from Friday, I think.
Friday. And so to be able to drive around with no air conditioner in Southern California is probably torturous. But I'm taking myself back to my very first car, which was a Honda Civic hatchback.
Hatchback, baby.
I loved that car. We had some good times in that car, hitting those corners real fast, you know.
Corey's first car was a stick shift, right?
It was a stick shift, and it had no air conditioner.
None.
It did not have windows, power windows. It just had the roll-up ones. So can you imagine this heat, which I think we're all a little spoiled now with our AC, our electric windows. I'm over there like just trying to get in the car, roll down those windows really quick, and hit the road because that's the only air I had was that blasting heat to cool me as I went from school to work.
Right. Does anybody remember that, not having AC during the summer here in LA? I mean, in LA, it's not even as bad as other places, right?
Yes.
But does anybody remember that? Can you go back into high school and remember the kind of car that you drove back then?
Yes,
because
I'm curious, what were people's first cars?
What was the first car? Because I got to tell you about my first car.
Tell me.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be that old school guy when I talk to our kids and like nobody ever bought me anything my whole life. I earned everything on my own because I did.
Right.
The first car I ever bought was a 1981 Datsun Maxima. Do you even know what that is? It was a station wagon, by the way. I don't even know how I came across that car. I think somebody, when you live in a big old ghetto apartment building, which I think at the time I lived on Parthenia and Noble, it was like drug dealer central over there, right?
Right.
But it was a step up from living in a gang infested neighborhood. I'd rather deal with drug dealers because as long as you're not dealing drugs, you're safe, right? So anyhow, that car, every single day I had to spray starter fluid in it, in the carburetor, to get it to start. So if you didn't have the carburetor fluid, like you were out of luck. So I had to spend money on that, gas, all that. And then I remember my friends getting in the car, the back passenger door didn't open.
So they have to hop in on the other side.
I had to hop in on the other side. So that was an interesting part of it. But overall, I love that car. It's your independence, right?
It's your first big purchase. Like that's you being able to get from one place to another.
It was $500. I remember exactly.
$500. That's amazing.
$500. That's what it costs to fill up gas for a week for some people right now. But it cost me $500 to buy a vehicle, right? Transportation.
Something that
because I used to be on that bus all the time. Me and the RTD, the MTA, we were like this.
Oh, I remember the Santa Clarita Transit. We used to take the bus everywhere. I didn't want to sit around and do nothing. We would get on the bus. We knew the routes. It was perfect. So then once you get that first car, it's amazing. That's why I don't understand some of these kids that don't want to get their license. Like what?
Well, because they got parents that'll take them everywhere.
No way.
I remember talking about the heat. Waiting, if you missed the bus, you'd have to, for some of these streets that I used to take the bus on, it wasn't as popular. Like it was like down Van Owen, if anybody knows San Fernando Valley, down Van Owen, kind of near like Woodman. And if you missed the bus, you have to wait for an hour for the next one.
Oh, geez.
Now, an hour in that heat, there's no shade. They didn't have shade. You're just stuck there and you're sitting next to some dude that probably smells like hell, like. I just remember that was that same guy that was always at the bus stop. He just lived there. And that heat, oh my gosh. I remember that heat. And then you get on the bus and you're super happy because the air conditioner's working at least.
So moral of the story is it could be worse that we don't have AC in our Tesla. However, we are in 2022 and they've got all this technology and all these things that we got to go all the way down there in this heat to have it serviced. And they're like, okay, so, well, what do we do? Chris asked him, do you have a loaner car while you fix the AC?
No loaners.
No loaner car. What did they tell you they're going to give you?
So they said if it's going to take more, if they have to keep your car overnight, they will give you $100 credit to Uber. Like, I don't even have Uber on my phone. Right?
You're so old school.
I'm super old school.
He relies on me to book everything. I have like the apps for Uber, for Disney. Like he wants to eat at Disney. I got to order it because he doesn't know how to use any of that stuff.
I just refuse to learn that stuff. I don't want to learn all this extra stuff, right?
Right.
So I got my baby. You take care of me.
I know, I do take care of him. So those are our options. So we either sit at Tesla and hopefully they fix the car, or we
it's
Uber it
complicated.
back.
It's complicated. So I have a listing appointment later today at 5:30 in the Valley in Reseda. So, but our appointment with Tesla's at 2:30, right? So what do we do at that point? Do I try to take you down there and then shoot you back and leave you at home, and then go right back to the Valley? That's a lot. That's a lot of back and forth, and I don't even know if I'll make it in time at that point. And then I was telling Corey, can you take one for the team and drive the car in? Because I don't want to be all sweaty when I go into this listing appointment. Because I mean a complete stranger, right?
Right.
That's your appearance. You go in and you stink. Like that's not a good look.
Please sell my house, stinky man. So it's okay. I mean, these are first world problems, right?
For sure.
But I mean, Tesla, you talk a big game. Come on. Where is the customer service? Because I know when we were taking our other cars in, like Toyota or Lexus or even like Honda, whenever we had those cars, they gave you a loaner car.
You had a loaner car.
Like, I just feel like a lot of places, where is the customer service, right?
Sure. And then a friend of ours who actually produces the show was telling me about Tesla that they were having problems with people getting headaches from the air conditioner because like the CO2 levels in the car.
I did not hear about that. Does anybody else have more info on that?
Yeah. What about all you Tesla drivers out there? Have you experienced any of that stuff?
How come we haven't received a warning or a notification?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a little scary. Worry about my kids.
I mean, we've been fine. I rarely get headaches.
Yeah, but you never know.
But I noticed I have been running the AC a lot more. When we leave the car, there's an option to leave it on. Like you could leave the AC running. You could put it on dog mode in case you have a dog.
That explains why it went out.
Yeah, because I've been using it more.
Yeah, the dog mode. Oh my gosh. Okay, well.
I've been working it like a dog.
So anyways, that's what we have ahead of us today. Hopefully all goes well with your listing appointment, and we'll have more details on that home coming for you all soon.
If we get it, which I'm confident we will, but it's going to be a home in Reseda, a pool home off of Yolanda. So I'll go take a look at it. I did some research on it. It's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, like 1,500 square feet on a big lot, like a 10,000 square foot lot.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to check it out, but I'll let you guys know how it is. I'll shoot some videos while I'm in there today. And if anybody's looking for a pool home in Reseda, my guess is it's going to be around the 800-ish range. Perfect. My guess. I got to go check it out to tell for sure.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about that. Saturday was super busy with real estate for Chris. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your day? Because I know we've been super busy with like showings and open houses. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So we had open houses going on. Shout out to Rena Mogadam for backing us up and always having our back. Thank you so much. So we had open houses at one of our listings on Darrow that bombed. Bombed, for anybody out there, means back on market. BOM, bomb. So that was back on market, which I'm actually expecting an offer on that today. So hopefully we get back in escrow with that one. Scheduling showings. We also had buyers because we have so many clients right now. We had buyers that were going to open houses on their own too. So we had two clients going to open houses on their own. I also showed the Atlas community and Starling over at Skyline, if anybody's familiar. So what I'm starting to see, and this is actually a trend, you guys. So we're having young families move into Skyline, whether it's their first home or their second home. There's only one more community in Skyline that you could purchase, and that is through TriPoint, and that's the Starling community. They only got like 35 homes left, and then they're done for a while, right?
Wow.
There's no anybody talking about a build happening there. I'm sure there's going to be more because there's a ton of space still going all the way down to Sierra Highway. But that's what's on the market right now that you could purchase. There's 35 homes left, so if you want to get in, I think the starter price is about $1 million. If anybody saw my story the other day, with the song $1 million, anyhow, about $1 million will get you about $1 million will get you into Starling. So that you're all set there. Now, if you want to get your parents to move in the same neighborhood, so they could be near you, you could take care of them, they could take care of your kids. They got also from TriPoint the Atlas community. Now the starting prices there are about $800,000. Nobody has begun to drop their prices yet. Okay. When I mean by nobody, I mean builders.
Builders, okay.
Builders are not dropping their prices yet, even with the rates going up, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But right now you can get in for about $800,000 before you make any upgrades. You start making upgrades, the average upgrades are about 10% of the purchase price.
Okay.
Which if you're at 800, that's $80,000. It's about average. So expect to pay about $900,000 for a property there. But 55 and over community. If you want to bring the grandkids to the pool, it's only between 12 and 4. Right, so there's like a set time because it's made for 55 and
they
better.
They want to enjoy their time.
But let me tell you,
paid their dues, right?
It is some of the best views in all of Santa Clarita. The views are amazing. It's all mountain views.
It's so
beautiful. And they have a lot of their community center is amazing. It looks like a Vegas party.
Well,
that shuts down at 10 o'clock though.
55 and better should be enjoying their time in their new home. Give it to them, right? Like they're paying those HOA dues. They better get what they're paying for.
Exactly. So anybody looking for that killer combo where you want to buy new and your parents want to get out of whatever house they're in, maybe they're in a 2-story and they want to get into a single story, that's the place to do it. I mean, that's a good option for them. Another option would be you can always buy a next gen home.
Oh, that's
or if you want to have them in the same house as you, they could be right in your same home and you could be our neighbors at Williams Ranch, where they have their own entrance, their own exit, their own kitchen, their own living room, their own bathroom, all under your roof.
That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great. Talk about built-in babysitters.
I know. You guys will be going out on dates more often. Talk to the parents. So, it sounds like you had a super busy weekend. And while he was doing that, I was getting prepared for our summer Disneyland vacation. So we wanted to I kind of planned this ahead of time. I wanted to kick off the summer right for these kids because they were getting toward the end of the school year. And although Santino's only in first grade and Nola's only in TK, they're just ready for it to be summer. They needed a break from school.
Nola still wants to go. Santino's ready to retire right now from his education at the end of first grade.
The great thing is he's still amazing at school. And we got report cards back. And I'm just so proud of them. Just like all their efforts are so amazing. Like all his scores were great. So when he tells us he doesn't want to go to school, it's not because he's bad at school. He'd rather be doing something else.
He'd rather be playing video games and watching TV. It's that simple. I was the same way.
He's such a great kid, though. So we had to give them a break. I mean, these kids, they've got it made. And I'm not going to lie, it's not really just for them. Like, it's for me, too. I want to go to Disneyland.
It's just as much for her as it is for the kids.
Sometimes I need a break, too.
She glows. She's walking with this glow. She got this little swag to her when she walks. When she's her little Disneyland walk, she's feeling good.
Yeah, I just hear all the magical songs as I'm walking through the park. It's great. And so we went to Disneyland and we stayed across the street at the Courtyard Marriott because it's a lot more affordable, first of all. And second of all, there's this amazing water park there. So for those of you who are planning a trip and they want to get away and you're a little bit scared by the prices that Disney has to offer for their hotel stays, just look across the street. Check them out. They have these huge water slides there, which our kids are old enough now to enjoy. They've got a splash pad. They've got a jacuzzi for the parents. So when you're tired like Chris and you need to get your body right and just relax a bit, you can go in the jacuzzi and there's a pool. I mean, I think they need to just pay me a little bit of royalties for like hyping them up right now. But that place is amazing.
We need to chop this up into a clip. Tag Courtyard Marriott. They need to send us back for free. But let me just tell you, they do have their stuff together. I didn't think I would like it at first. It was, I don't know how many times. This was like our 4th visit there.
Probably our 5th visit.
4th or 5th since COVID. And what I really enjoy about the whole water feature that they had there, like the little mini water park, is that you have to make a reservation, okay? And this might sound annoying to some people,
yes,
but it's really genius. And I think this happened by accident because of COVID. It's a product of COVID, right?
Right.
But it's great. So you set up for 2 hours. That's your window. So if you're late, you're late. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that means, guess what? When you go in there, there's a nice bench seating with umbrellas.
You'll actually get a spot to sit.
You'll get a spot to sit.
You don't have to run out there in the morning and put all your stuff out and fight people just to get a seat by the pool or to have some shade. It's nice. You can actually go and enjoy yourselves, be able to sit and watch where the kids are running around having a good time. And it's not overly crowded, so you're not going to lose your kid in there, right? At
all. Well, they can't leave.
Yeah.
They'd have to go buy the the personnel that's working in the front.
Right.
And it's gate. They can't go anywhere.
Of course, but still,
it's amazing.
I worry when there's a lot of people.
We watch them, but really you don't have to, because there's one pool, there's one jacuzzi, and all the lifeguards are there.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else that anything could happen to them.
Correct.
It's amazing. I love that place. The kids loved it. They had a choice. As soon as we got there on Sunday, do you want to go to Disneyland? Or they're like, no, we want to go to this water park.
Of course, because our room overlooked the water park. It was calling their names. So I'm not going to lie. I was like, man, I was really excited about going to Disneyland. And Chris is like, is this trip about you or them? I'm like, you're right. All right, let's go to the pool.
She wanted to nix the pool and just say, oh, well, we couldn't get a reservation in the pool. Let's go to Disneyland.
I wouldn't lie to them.
You wouldn't. Speaking of lying, though, so if anybody knows me, and if you've known me since I was a kid, my biggest pet peeve is liars, right?
I know. It's so
I can't stand it. Kids are going to lie. So like if our kids start to lie, if we think they're lying, we give them a chance to redeem themselves before they dig themselves in a hole. We always say, hey, are you telling a story or are you telling the truth, right?
Right.
So I wanted to do this when we were going into this little water park, because the people in front of us, when you're a bad liar too, right? So they said they made an appointment. Oh, we have a reservation. I don't know why it's not showing up, right? Oh, we just got off the phone. We should be in there, right?
When we checked in, we made it.
We checked in. Liars. And somebody just looks like a liar, like they got a liar face. So not only did the wife have a liar face, so did her husband, right? And you just knew, and you knew their kids were going to be bad too. They had 3 kids, and I knew they were going to be bad because their parents were bad, right? So we get into the park. So they weasel their way into the park, and of course they got to sit right next to us. I'm like, oh, damn, they're sitting right next to us. I'm like, babe, make sure you put the phone away, the credit cards, because when I walk away from here, I don't trust these liars. That's who steals, right?
Yeah.
People that steal, they're usually liars, right? So I got my guard up on these people the whole time.
I wasn't even worried about that, but I happened to look over and dude had his cell phone underneath our towel. He was like taking something from underneath my towel. Like, what is going on?
See, I didn't know
there?
that till later, but
I'm like, what? I think he just confused our seats with theirs.
Because they were sitting right next to us.
Because we already knew that they were being shady from the get-go, where I was like, why is he over there? He needs to back up.
So then one of their daughters was it both daughters or one of them that were too short? Because they were twins.
There was 2 little kids that were too short to go on the slide. And so they still let them run up there and try to go on the slide.
So the parents are trying to coax their kids into, just go try to get up there. So like, they already told you at the beginning, they measured them, they said they can't go on the slide, but the parents are still encouraging their kids to go up on this slide when they're not allowed to. That kind of stuff drives me insane, right? So I'm like, what is wrong with these people? And then I think the little girl pooped her pants. She had that poop walk the whole time, remember? I was like, they deserve all of this happening right now.
Oh my gosh.
He was picking her up. He was doing one of these where he picked her up like this and was walking.
Oh man.
Anyhow, liars.
Watch out for the liars. Chris doesn't like it when you lie. I mean, who likes a liar anyways? But come on. Like, they're trying to get one up on the people there. And I don't know. They're gonna find out. Everybody's watching you there. Don't lie. But shout out to to Courtyard Marriott, because they handled them so well. They were so calm with them. They're so sweet. There. And it's like, they didn't have to be that nice with them, and they were. They
were extremely nice. And let me tell you about those lifeguards, because there's certain rules, right? You're in the jacuzzi. You don't want these kids splashing and kicking and stuff on you. Like, get out of here, kid. There's a pool over there.
I checked our kids as soon as they got in the jacuzzi. This is not a place to splash around. People are here to relax. Right. Do not kick your feet. Do not swim in here. And I didn't even hear them say that. It's just like a non-written rule. You should know that, right? And parents, you need to prep your kids. And so Yasmin Farhado said facts. Yes, she agrees.
She agrees.
So this kid get in there, starts splashing and kicking, and the lifeguard said, sweetie, can you please not do that? Swimming is for the pool. Like, that calm. 3 or 4 times.
And these are teenagers, you guys.
And I'm like, where are your parents? Like,
I was thinking something else. I was like, we need to get that training program that the Courtyard has, because man, they have some great employees there.
They are so nice
to
there.
teach a teenager. Maybe the kid was like 21, I don't know, but he was pretty young, right? He still had acne and stuff on his face. He was a young man. He had so much patience, and the way he delivered it, his tone of voice, he wasn't yelling at the kids. He got his point across, and they listened, because he's like, if you do it again, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to come on out. So nice. I love people like that. How come everybody can't train their staff to be like that? That was amazing. So visit the Courtyard, guys.
So the Disneyland vacation, we are so impressed with the actual hotel, but let's talk about Disneyland, because, oh my goodness, Chris swore he would not go for all 3 days. If all of y'all watched last week, he's like, I'm not going on Tuesday.
There's no way. I'm not doing 3 days at Disneyland. It's not going to happen. That's what I said last week.
So what happened?
So the third day, we were at Disneyland for 10 hours. I'm like, what? So, I mean, the moral of the story is, husbands, you feel me. It just doesn't matter what we think, right? Our wives they got more willpower than we do. They're going to make it happen. Whatever they want, it's going to end up happening. I should have known this last week, but it turned out really well.
Well, moral of the story is, significant others, just let the other one, if they think something's going to go a certain way, just let them think that way. Just let them. There's no need to argue with them, because you know what will happen in the end.
Wow. Well, she's not wrong. She's not wrong, so it's okay.
There's no need. We could pick our battles. So Disneyland was amazing, and clearly because Chris went for the third day. And I think like I was telling him, if you're already down there and you're in Anaheim, you're leaving the hotel and it's early in the morning, you might as well go and enjoy the park. And I think we've gotten it down. There's like so many fun things to do there, which we're always finding something new as the kids grow up, right? So what was the newest thing that I found for Nola that you think would like really enhance what she loves to do?
Well, you found that because Santino was obsessed with going on Incredicoaster, right? So we went 3 times in a row. So Corey has to figure out, like, well, what can I do with Nola while they're over there? She found, does anybody know, what was it called? The animation studio?
The animation studios.
Where is that exactly?
It is in not downtown. I'm sorry. It's in California Adventure, over where Beast's Library is and where Turtle Talk is. It's really cool. You go in there and you actually get to sit down with an animator, a Disney animator, and they do a drawing. So Nola loved it because she learned how to draw a Pooh Bear. So if anybody follows us on Instagram or Facebook, you will see that I posted in our stories that Nola drew Pooh Bear, and she did such a good job. I did not help her at all. I'm all into the drawing myself, and I look over, I'm like, wow, she's doing a great job for a 5-year-old.
She can probably go down to Disneyland or California Adventure for a whole day and just stay there and draw like 10 pictures in a row, half-hour increments, and be so happy.
And they have different characters they draw every half hour. So it's so cool. If you want a little break from the heat, you go in there. It's nice and air conditioned. Chris and Santino tried it the next day with us, and he said, wow, that was really relaxing and therapeutic.
So parents know this out there, especially if you have small children. As soon as you get home from work, all they want to do is play, right? So Nola's idea of play, sometimes she wants to do some physical stuff, but she really just wants me to color with her or paint or draw, right? That's what she loves to do. So I embraced it. It's actually very therapeutic. I enjoy it. So I've been coloring like a kid again, right? And drawing. We did a Baymax. Is it Baymax or Betamax?
Baymax.
Baymax from Hero 6. That's what we drew. And you know what we'll do is we'll post it later. All 4 of us got to draw it. It was a good time. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was very therapeutic. I can be in there, I think, 30-minute increments in a row, drawing different characters and have a great time.
Yes, it was so much fun. So for any of you who have budding artists in the family, please check that out. It's a fun place to go. And it looks like Yasmin said, yes, laugh out loud, happy wife, happy life. That is correct.
So I just got to touch on that because I'm old school. So when I before I proposed to Corey, I asked her dad if I could marry her, right? And this is, you got to remember, I was a punk kid at that time. I was maybe, I think I proposed, I was like 21 or 22 when I proposed. 21. So I thought I knew everything. And her dad explained to me that simple slogan of happy wife, happy life, she happy, me happy. And I'm not going to lie, I thought he was a punk, kind of, like, to say that. Like, not a punk like a punk, but like kind of like whooped, right? Like, wow, you just let your wife like take control like that? Like, what's wrong with you, right? And it's so funny, but he's so right. And it's so easy. Marriage is that easy. So anybody struggling out there, just make your wife happy, because if she's not happy, you are not going to be happy. Happy wife, happy life. And I have a very happy life, so I'm assuming you're happy. Not so much. I guess I got some work to do.
I'm so happy.
That sounds very convincing.
So we had a great time. I'm always happy, especially at the happiest place on earth. And so there's been some more Disneyland controversy. I mean, we had a great time. We'll get more into that. But did any of you see the Spider-Man show? It had a bit of a hiccup. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, he almost died, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, we have a video to watch. We're going to get that ready. But with sides or backstory for the Spider-Man show, for those of you who have not seen it, there is a live action show in California Adventure with Spider-Man, and he jumps from a building, right?
Right.
And so the very first time that we saw it,
we thought it was amazing.
I was blown away. The kids were in awe. They're like, whoa. So it's pretty amazing.
Well, we thought Spider-Man, that it was a real person.
Yes.
In the air, because it looks like a real person.
Well,
they do such a great job.
Half of it is a real person, and the rest of it is an actual robot.
Well, yeah. So we ended up having to go do all this research because the kids are very interested on how everything works, right? So yeah, the robot's like 135 pounds. And they actually fling the robot through the air, and it lands like on a, they catch it on something, right? And then as soon as they catch on something, the human comes up and finishes the show.
Yes.
But it's really amazing the way they do it. It's very impressive. Every single time I see it, it doesn't lose any of its luster. I'm still like, wow, I can't believe that.
Right.
So here's the video coming up.
We'll go ahead and show this for you. I have not seen the video. I just read the
Me
story.
neither. I haven't seen the video
and
yet.
I've seen
either.
a still shot of the aftermath. Okay, so
was this at Disneyland Park or was this at Disney World? Look at this. Look how amazing is that? Wait. Oh, whoa. Okay, now can you imagine the little Spideys out there?
Can you imagine the poor kids? They're probably terrified. Spider-Man, no! He's not supposed to crash.
How come he's still on that rope? And
that's what happened. He was on the rope.
Oh,
he didn't
wow.
release.
He didn't release.
Was this at California Adventure? Oh my goodness. It was up and running when we were there the other day, so
they've had some gaffes, right?
it.
So that they had this. Yeah, look, he never does any of the movement or anything. So maybe it froze. I don't know what happened to that robot.
Well, thank goodness it was the robot, and I'm sure parents had a lot of explaining to do to their kids that day. This
is not the type of stuff that Disneyland wants, right? Because the week before Radiator Springs catches fire, one of the cars catch fire.
Right.
Now we got this Spider-Man thing. And let me just tell you another thing, a problem I have with Disneyland, right?
Oh no, here he goes.
This is a major problem. So you can go anywhere in the park and you can get a soda for under $5. And one of those gigantic sodas, right? These crooks have raised their water price to $9.25 for a bottle of water.
$9.25 for a bottle of water.
$9.25. Now, most people that go to Disneyland, they're going with the family.
Yes.
Right?
Can you imagine all of that?
And you got to drink water because it's hot there. You need to have that going. And, I don't know if it's Dasani water.
They have Life water there now, too.
Yeah, but $9.25.
It's insane.
So we had to go old school. We got to teach these kids the stuff that we went through when we were kids. So now we got the car with no AC. We got to drive them around in that thing. So
let them appreciate that Tesla.
Let them appreciate how the AC, right? Now they got to also take them back to our childhood where you get to drink that water out of the hose, because I was like, I'm not paying another $27 because we had already bought like I don't know how many bottles of water.
Yeah, it's hot out there, but they do have water stations now.
So we went to the water station. That's another 20 minutes in line for the water station because
nobody wants to pay $30 to keep their family hydrated.
right, I think we were the oldest people in that line. It was like the young kids that didn't have the money for the water, but like we were like, there is no way I'm spending another $27 for 3 bottles of water, right? Because they're the big ones. We're going through this water station. But the water station is just like the ice cream line at Disneyland. Like you're in that line for 20 minutes, right? How do you not know what you want to order when you get to the front of the line?
Right?
Same thing with the water station. There is one button to push. You put the water like this and you just push a button.
And you just go.
You push a button, you fill up. Next person, please.
Do you think it would be nice and easy like that? No. Girl got to the thing. All struggling to open her water bottle. And then she's like, how do you work this? There's one button.
That girl panicked. She panicked. She was in line for 20 minutes.
It's just like the ice creams at Disneyland. So there's 5 selections. You either want the Mickey Mouse ice cream cookie, you want the Toll House cookie, you want the fruity one, or whatever the other 2 are. And how do you stand in line for 25 minutes in the heat wanting an ice cream and you get up there and you're like, so what do you want, baby? Like, you don't know, move aside.
I'll tell you why.
Because I know what I want.
I'll tell you why. Because those little badass kids that were in line were running amok. Mom or dad was on the phone the whole time, not paying attention. Then they finally get to the front of the line. And they're like, oh, what do you want, kids?
Oh, Lord. No.
Get it together, people. Get it together. Let's go.
Chris is all irritated. Give me my water.
Let's go.
Give me my free water.
Christian says $9.25. Are you kidding me?
Yes, $9.25.
So, you know, if you watch these crazy post-apocalyptic movies that I love to watch, the cost of water, that's where all the power comes from later. Like it starts to get really expensive everywhere and people are like trading crazy things just for some water. That's how it is at Disneyland. You're like, do I want to eat lunch or do I want to buy a bottle of water?
So we finally get the water at the water fountain, right? And Chris is like, just fill up Santino's first. He's really thirsty. So we hand him his bottle of water and he takes a drink and he starts choking on the water. I don't know why. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the water's
bad. The water's bad. It's poison.
It's poison. Our kid is choking on it.
Our kid is he doesn't know what like lukewarm water tastes like, right? Because he's been getting this ice cold water from the house. Like we've been buying these filtered water. He got that hose lukewarm water and he almost died.
There is a trick to that. You could go get free ice there. So anybody who's looking for hacks at Disney and you don't want to pay $9.25 for a bottle of water, go ask for some ice. Go there to your little water station and fill up because, man, you don't even have to buy any treats and you're going to go broke there.
Goodness. So because we were there for 3 days, we stumbled upon some hacks. So why we didn't think about this sooner, like the whole water thing? I didn't think we didn't have to think about it since water used to be like $5. Now it's almost double.
But even at $5, that's a lot of money.
It's expensive for sure, but you just think about it and you're like, whatever. We're at Disneyland, right? But when it's $9, you got to think about it a little bit more. So now I think we're going to be drinking this hose water from now on. You know, we'll bring our water and drink hose water the rest of the day. So we got sick of some of the lunch lines there, right? Like, what can you eat for lunch? Like, we've already tasted everything. We got a couple cool little treats that we haven't tried before, like the beignets were bomb.
Yes.
We had those, and we got that little sugar rush helped. But what we did this time that we've never done before, and why we haven't thought about it, I don't know.
It's because usually when we're hungry, we're on the other side of the park. But this time we were right by the monorail, and Chris loves the Black Tap Burgers. That's the name of the place.
I'm not going to say I love it, but I really enjoy it, especially compared to like Pizza Planet or Galactic Burger or Grill or whatever it's called. Like that stuff is just not good. So we took the monorail back into downtown Disney, had lunch. It was nice to recoup. We left the stroller, didn't have to take apart the stroller and put it on the monorail, left it there. We got like a 2-hour break, basically, to have lunch.
And at Black Tap, they have these amazing shakes, which the kids
shake.
are just, they go gaga over. When it showed up, their eyes got so big, and it came with this huge Oreo cookie ice cream treat on it, and Nola's just like licking her fingers and like, oh my gosh. It's so cute. It's like priceless. Just go there. That's the biggest thing you can do, I think. If you don't like the food in Disneyland, which I'm not really a big fan of. I feel like California Adventures food is so much better.
It is way better.
Just hop on that monorail, go to downtown Disney. They've got some really great places to eat.
And the lines aren't long. So the line was not long during lunch. And it was like prime lunch hour. It was like 12:30. And it wasn't that bad. We waited like 10 minutes.
I think my biggest thing is I never want to leave the park because I feel like if we're leaving the park, it's going to be so long to get back in and you're going to have to do this walk. But that monorail, it's up and running again. Nice
no line
trick.
to get out of the park on the monorail and no line to get back in. And they run so fast that even if you miss one, it's like 5 minutes to the next one.
So
it was amazing.
Great.
So that's another little hack that we picked up this time.
Yes, Chris loved it. So he got some good food. Don't mess with Chris in Disneyland. I mean, he's already got like this thing that's bothering him with his leg and his back. And then once he gets hangry, y'all don't want to be around him.
So those Snicker commercials, I don't know if you guys remember the Snicker commercials.
He turns into Roseanne Barr for sure.
Roseanne Barr, Joe Pesci, whoever. But I'm not in my body anymore. Like I'm outside. I'm so angry. I just can't think anymore. That's what happens when I don't eat. And the funny thing is I haven't eaten anything today now that I just thought about it.
Oh, y'all better watch out.
I'm good right now.
I'm gonna turn into the Hulk or something.
Something's going to happen. I got to eat after the show.
Okay, you need to get some food after. So Yasmin said that's hilarious. And crazy. So other news, gas prices hit $5 nationally. Woo, I wish they were $5 here, which I guess is a big deal because we're here in California. We wish we had those gas prices at $5.
We do. Absolutely. We make more money here, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that doesn't justify it, but we make more money here than they do in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. So they always brag about like, oh, our gas prices are like $3 and you guys are like $5. Well, now you're $5 too. And I feel bad because, again, this is like make or break for a lot of families out there to fill up that tank, right? And then let's just talk about our industry.
Oh my goodness.
We live in our car. We drive all day long.
Yes.
And, we're not in this situation now, but let me just tell you our situation during the last peak of the market when the market was crashing. I remember me and Corey had to sit down and talk about, here's our client list of who we're showing property to. And when you got $3,000 left in the bank, because I think that's what we had back in like 2007, right? The market had crashed. The rates were high. It was hard to close anything. People didn't want to buy homes. Everybody was scared.
Yes.
It's a lot of it's reminiscent to right now, right? Mm-hmm. We had to figure out, hey, we got this much money, and gas is expensive.
Start limiting where you're showing property. You can't be driving that
We can't
far.
be driving all the way to Antelope Valley or whatnot, right? So we had to really centralize it to just San Fernando and Santa Clarita and focus on the people that were like really seriously looking.
Right. So Raph said gas prices are whack. They are. It's so crazy. They're just going to pay for gas. Oh, we're going to work just to pay for gas. It's true.
How does that make any sense?
I know.
And I go back and
it's crazy.
And my clients can vouch for me on this, right? I always tell people, because that first time home buyer, they want that big house right off the bat.
Right.
And a lot of the time they're coming from San Fernando Valley. They're just our clientele that I've dealt with in the past. And they were like, oh, just drive to Antelope Valley because I could get a lot bigger house.
Right.
But they're working in LA. And I'm like, look, why don't you come to Santa Clarita? It's halfway stop. Get yourself a townhouse or a condo. Yeah, it's not the big backyard and all that stuff. But guess what? You move all the way to Antelope Valley and your family lives in San Fernando Valley. They're not visiting you anyway.
No, they're not trying to come out.
And you got that big house that you're never going to see because you're going to be on the road 2 hours each way every single day. And the maintenance on your car, the gas,
and now
all
gas,
that stuff.
just throw gas in there.
So those poor people, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have to figure out, hey, is it worth me? Is that job worth it? Or is this home worth it? And they're going to have to figure that out because the gas prices are really pushing people to rethink about what they're going to do on the weekends with their family, where they're going to work. They have to, because the prices are ridiculous. And this is really determining whether or not people can make ends meet at the end of the month.
Right.
Because most people live paycheck to paycheck. Let's just call it what it is, right? They got like 2 months of savings in the bank in case something happens. Well, guess what? With these gas prices, that's probably dwindling. That's really scary. The government needs to step in and do something about these gas prices because I know they can.
For sure. This reminds me about a story I brought up last time with Rena. There is an agent who will remain nameless, told one of the who is now our clients at the time, are you going to be buying this house? Because I don't want to spend any more money on my gas to drive you around to see houses.
So yeah, I'm not going to name that agent because it's not fair. I don't know the whole contents of the story.
That's what it's coming down to,
But
is times are getting rough.
An agent that's very known and respected within her peers, according to a client that we have, said that to him and was like, I can't waste any more time with you because I got to fill up this gas tank. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. Hey, times are getting rough.
Times are rough.
So Yasmin said, then with rates up, they'll have to buy less. Yeah. I mean, interest rates are going up too, which brings us the Feds just raised the rates yesterday, right?
So the Feds raised the rates by 0.75, which is the highest since 1994.
Wow.
Over 25 years, right? That's a big deal. We haven't faced inflation like this since, in our professional career.
Right.
Not like this, right? So this is their plan to battle inflation. I hope it works. But it's going to slow down the market, right? It has to, because who can afford this? What do you guys think about that? Because what they're saying too is that they're going to be raising rates another 1.75%. So just so people understand what that means, the Federal Reserve is not raising our interest rates as consumers. They're raising the rates for what the banks borrow money from them, from the government. So it's up to the banks. Do the banks say, hey, maybe we make a little bit less money right now and keep the rates low?
No, they're greedy.
So you're going to start to see all these loan programs that we've been talking about for all year long. We've been talking about it on the show. These ARM loans are going to be more popular, which I got to make a quick shout out to and look, we're lenders too. We do loans, but we always want what's best for our clients, right?
Right.
So if we make less money by not doing a loan because we can't offer the best loan, so be it. It's all about what's right for our clients. And I just got, I talked to Rona Jukes last night. She works at Logix, a credit union, which is a major credit union, and Santa Clarita is their headquarters is in Valencia. Anyhow, they are offering a program right now. I don't know how long it's going to last, and I don't know if it's been affected from yesterday to today with the rate hike, but 3.5%, no points on a 30-year. I'm sorry, on a 5-year fixed loan, 3.5%. So that's something that Corey and I are really looking into for our purchase. And we can't offer that because a lot of places can't compete right now with the credit unions. So if anybody, and we're going to call all our buyers, we haven't had a chance to yet, and introduce them to Rona, because that's a great deal. They can still get in.
Yes, absolutely.
And possibly get sellers to pay for more of a buy down.
Yeah. Or
the closing costs. It's a great time for buyers still. Don't get scared by the interest rates, because there's other programs out there that can really get you into a home right now. And we're doing exactly what we're saying, right? So we're going to be buying, we're in the process, and we're looking at these programs ourselves.
For sure. So Raf said, if you work for Tesla, Elon said, if you don't come into work, go look for another job. Some business owners really need their staff to come into work. They won't accept working from home anymore. Hey, things are getting back to normal, right? Like, you better come into the office and show up.
That's a huge deal what Raft is touching on, because how many people during COVID reevaluated their life,
right?
And then on top of that,
switched their careers. They said, I'm not going back into a job that I don't even like anymore.
Well, looked for jobs specifically that they could work remotely from home, and came to Santa Clarita because we had a huge influx of people that are out of area buying in here, which shot up our prices, right? So how many of those people are going to be affected where maybe they need to sell because now they got to go back to LA.
Go back to LA, bring all the people back to the city.
It's going to affect a lot.
I think we're going to see a lot of changes happening.
And it's really sad because if you guys, I just came from Sacramento a couple weeks ago, and the city in Sacramento, same thing with LA and a lot of other major cities, man, they were hit hard during COVID. A lot of businesses went out of business.
So many places did.
Because nobody's going to work anymore. And if they're not going to work, they're not going into their shops, right? And a lot of these places went out of business. So who knows what's going to happen? A lot of people have been affected in the last 3 years. It's a really interesting time, not only in real estate, but just here in the United States in life, right?
I know. There's just so many different things that keep getting thrown at everybody. So Jasmine said by 2024, it's predicted to the 4 range. I'm not really sure what that was about.
I think she's talking about the rate that the banks are borrowing from the government.
Oh, I see.
So that would probably shoot our interest rates up to like 7 or 8%.
Oh my goodness. That's like when we first bought our first house.
Yeah. I mean,
The
I
rates
remember
were about that.
when I first got into the loan business, I was selling 8% rates.
Yeah.
Happily. Mm-hmm. So, it'll adjust. The prices will eventually come down. But first, we got to get all these crazy loan programs that keep the prices low. That will happen first. And it's already starting to happen.
For sure.
So let's see.
Yasmin also said the banks don't tend to reduce margins. Of course they don't. They need to make their big bucks too, right?
They want to make their bonuses.
Yes, they do.
But they'll start writing these loans because, look, it's already happened, right? They know the history of it. If they start writing these crazy loans, these stated loans, these ARMs, if I see a pay option arm, I don't know what to tell you guys, but the market's going to crash if that happens. But if these loans start coming out, they know they're going to be bailed out by the government.
Yes, that's the thing. They know that they'll get bailed out. It's not a big deal to them. So Christian said, preach, brother. So many creative ways our industry has mastermind to make homes affordable. Everyone deserves and needs to own a home. End of story.
He's 100% right, because what is the alternative? The alternative is you rent. Mm-hmm. Rents are at record highs right now.
I know.
Record highs. Because guess what? It's no longer a common, family that owns an apartment building or that owns a single family residence and is your landlord. No, now it's major hedge funds that have bought apartment buildings and single family residents. So that's why you're starting to see the rates have just kept climbing and climbing and climbing on the monthly rents for single family to rent.
Right.
So the alternative is, okay, let's say you don't buy right now, but you're paying what, $3,500 for a 3-bedroom apartment or a 3-bedroom house?
Wow.
Why would you do that? You're just paying somebody else's mortgage. You're going to pay a mortgage. And now is it going to be your own mortgage
or somebody else's?
Or somebody else's mortgage? That if you're already in a home, great. But if you're not, you got to get in as soon as you can get in, whether it's now or you set up a plan for the next couple of years.
For sure. So Raf said, when that happens, I'll be waiting ready to buy. I'm assuming he's talking about the market changing.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that 2
Raf's
minutes
ahead
ago.
of the game. So if anybody wants to, find out more about financials and investing and stuff, they got to look at my boy Raf and see what he has to offer over there, because he's always like one step ahead of the market. We're always talking about the market, and then we start to see the stuff happen that he's been talking about for 6 months. Shout out to my boy Raf.
And then Christian said, at least try to make things affordable. He was talking about a comment in what he said earlier.
Sure.
He said, rent is more expensive this day in some cases. I can't afford to rent. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. Some places you're paying more to rent than to buy.
Which is insane. I just don't understand why anybody would choose to rent. It's one thing if you don't have the means to purchase. Hey, we'll figure it out. We'll put a plan together. We'll get you there. But when you have the means to purchase and you decide to just throw your money away on rent, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, everybody has their own reasoning, I'm sure. So thank you for sharing all that great information with us. Looking ahead, we have a lot of stuff coming up this week. So what's on your agenda?
I'm just trying to get through the day. So
we need to get Chris some food. He needs some sleep, and then he's going to get right back on it.
Sleep. Yeah, I'll sleep when I die. So I'm not worried about sleep. I am obviously focused on, dealing with what I got going on with my files. We received a multiple counter for one of our buyers out in Ventura.
Yay.
My number one goal is to get them into that house. If I don't get them in that house, the plus side of that is I get to show homes in Ventura on Saturday, which I love that area. So that'll be fun. But they really love this house, so that's my number one goal. If the houses are priced right, they're in the right area, and they look amazing,
right,
they're still selling super fast. So this house, I think it has like 4 or 5 offers on it. We're one of them, so hopefully we get our offer accepted. That's on my agenda. We have an offer coming in on one of our listings, so I got to call back that agent and hopefully do the negotiating up front so we don't get some crazy lowball offer.
Right.
And then we have that listing appointment later in Reseda, and I'm really curious to see what it looks like, because I think that owner's been in that house for like 30 years.
Wow.
So who knows what it looks like? I have no idea. It's fun for me. I go in there, I get to see what it looks like and really let them know what the house is worth.
Right.
Right. So we'll see if we have that one coming up soon. We did have another listing. So one thing I want to talk about on this show is, look, I know people know a ton of realtors. Everybody's an agent, right? And most agents only post like their wins, right?
Right. And they don't talk about the stuff that maybe is a little bit more challenging or what really happens, right?
Yeah, and it's funny. I see a lot of agents do it. I'm not going to pick on anybody because I think the majority of agents do this. They like to post like, closed sales, pendings, and all that stuff for the whole month. And it's like 20 houses. And usually it encompasses the whole office.
Right.
Right. But it makes them look good. Right. Mm-hmm. Great. More power to you. But hey, there's also stuff that happens that's not so great. Right. Mm-hmm. So like we took a listing, took pictures, took video, and then our sellers decided like it's not the right time to do it. So that kind of stuff happens too in this business.
Yes.
And that's okay. It's part of doing business. And believe it or not, we're actually happy that our sellers
they're our friends. So
they're our good friends.
Said, oh, good. They're going to stay in town. I'm happy they're not moving.
Yeah, we can hang out more. Our kids finally started getting along. So
yes.
So I'm super happy for them. But that kind of stuff happens in this business too. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's part of doing business.
And I think not every agent would handle things the way that we like to. I mean, why would you want to hold someone to, no, you signed this listing and you have to sell? Like, you don't want to sell. You don't want to sell. And there are some agents who get a little kooky when it comes to contracts and stuff like that.
I mean, most of our contracts, you guys, like you list with us, our contracts are like for 60 days or less that we're even in this market, because we're so confident that we're going to sell your home, right?
Absolutely.
For the most money. And I'm not going to lie to you when I get into your house, which this lady's going to find out today. I'm not going to give you some crazy number, because some agents, this is how they get listings. They give them some crazy number. Let's say the house is worth $800. Oh, I could sell your house for $9. Mm-hmm. They know damn well they can't sell that house for $900,000.
They just want to get the listing.
Their goal is to get that listing with a long listing period. Let's say 6 months. That's on average what listing agents do. Mm-hmm. And then their whole goal is just to get you to reduce that price later, and eventually they'll sell your house. That's not how I operate. I don't have the time to do that or the energy. I want to find the right match, meaning a seller that is enthusiastic and realistic to sell their house, for the most money as well, but at the right price. Like,
right.
I'm not going to list a house that somebody wants to list $100,000 over what it's going to sell.
Right.
So anyhow, hopefully tonight works out well and we are a right fit, seller and us, and we get that listing. We'll see how it goes.
Which this reminds me of something that Chris and I are actually encountering right now. We have a rental property in San Antonio, right outside of San Antonio. It's in this town called Cibolo. So if anybody out there has a great agent that they would love to refer to us to help us sell our property, we would be so grateful for that. Right now, we're in the market trying to find an agent that's a great fit for us. And it is challenging out there. It is so challenging. I just cannot believe how people respond when you say you want to sell your house. Like now, like it's coming up soon. I need a game plan. Like, can you send me what a sample listing presentation may look like? And the response I get is, well, we've been managing your property, so why don't you list with us? I'm like, what? That's insane.
She asked our management company. They've been the management company for 15 years, only really because they're like the only show in town for that little small area. And they haven't been that good. So she told them like, hey, we're going to sell. If you'd like to be, one of the people or one of the companies that we're considering, send us over, your listing or your listing presentation. And the lady's response was, well, I would think since we manage your property for 15 years that you would just use us. That was her response. That's how she wants to get our business. And
I just could not believe it. I would never say that to one of our clients. Well, you used me in the past, so why wouldn't you use me now? What?
That was her sales pitch. And then we had another guy. Now I found these. I did a lot of research to find like 4 good agents that sell a lot of properties that have really good reviews. I found another guy sold like 40 houses in a year, which is really good. Had great reviews, but once I talked to him on the phone, he kept telling us about the market
what it was before, how great it was before, and I'm like, what about now? What are you going to do for us now? I don't care what happened before, and you should know. We're calling you and telling you that we're real estate brokers. Like, we know what's been going on in the market. You don't have to sell me on the past. Tell us what is the market now. Don't try to tell me I could get all this money, but like last year. because I know I'm not going to get that.
And the reason he was talking about that stuff is basically he was going to tell us what he doesn't do. So yeah, I take professional photos. No, I don't do any print media, meaning like brochures or mailers or anything like that. I'll probably hold a couple open houses.
And he was like, I do a little social media. I'm like, what the heck? No, you need to be on social media. You need to be in the community and really pushing our property. And I just want to find someone who's really good.
The problem is you know everything that we do for our listings, and then you're like, oh my gosh, nothing really compares to it. And that's not to like toot our own horn, but we spend a lot of money on marketing, you know, ineffective marketing, not just throwing money away. We spend a lot of money on professional video, professional pictures, beautiful brochures that we have that open up. And the reason it's so important is when a buyer is visiting 5 to 10 open houses on a weekend, they're getting these little flimsy pieces of paper at most open houses, right? What do you think they do with those papers? They either throw them away or they have our beautiful brochure and they put them inside our beautiful brochure. And the reason that's important is they're staring at your house the whole weekend and remembering like, oh, that was a great experience at that house. They had food, we had drinks, our kids got to play with toys. Like these are the things that
I want someone to do that for our property.
It just
hold an open house, make people feel like they want that house. They can never leave. Get them in there and like show them all the highlights. Don't just say, yeah, I'll take your property and I'm going to list it for what it was worth before and it's just going to sit on the market. No, be real with me. Tell me the real deal. And if you're not going to do those things, I'm going to move on to somebody else who will.
Right.
Because that's just insane. So Raph said, you called and spoke to Al Bundy, who scored 4 touchdowns at Polk High. Ha, ha, ha. Exactly, Raph. That's what I felt.
About his heyday.
And I asked him, I said, so do you do video? No, I don't do video. Wait, how do you not do video?
I don't know.
We need to find somebody. People, I know you have friends and family in San Antonio. Please send us someone.
Yeah,
we need somebody.
So coming up this week, now, am I correct in that this weekend is Father's Day weekend?
So this weekend is Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day. Early Father's Day to all you dads out there. We will be spoiling Chris because he is the most amazing daddy ever.
Oh, thank you, baby.
The kids have already worked on their projects. They've been done. There's no last minute stuff. We are ready to go. So we're going to treat you right on your Father's Day.
I appreciate that. So to treat myself, today I played a little hooky. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to the elite meeting today. One is because it was all the way in Acton. I wasn't going to make it back in time for the show. Mm-hmm. That was a really big factor. But I also rescheduled golf lessons because I needed to see my brother Raph and Professor Art and all my people over at Checkmat. So my favorite class is Wednesdays, which I miss every week because we have the elite meetings.
Right.
You got to make the sacrifice. But it's my favorite class because it's no gi. Mm-hmm. So it's really a lot of grappling. Mm-hmm. My favorite. It was such a great class today. So after 3 days of Disneyland, believe it or not, when I'm in jiu-jitsu, I feel no pain in there. As opposed to just walking around Disneyland, I'm like I need a wheelchair. It's so weird.
Maybe mindset, mind over matter.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I think it's because I'm moving around. My body's, it's more active and it's just the way it's moving. There's no pain. So happy to be in class today. So happy to see my boy Raph. He's always teaching me a bunch of stuff. So he was teaching me some moves today too.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time today.
Good time. The point of that is, fathers, treat yourself this week. Go do something that you want to do.
Treat yourself. And this weekend is a little crazy for us too because we have 2 birthday parties to go to. It's the summertime. Well, Chris probably won't be joining us because he'll be working, but we have 2 friends who are having birthday parties for their kids. So I'll be jumping from party to party.
It's back to back on Saturday, right?
But also, don't forget, one of the parties is for Santino's friend at school, and the siblings aren't invited. So you and Nola get to have a daughter-daddy day.
Well, that's if I don't have to work. And if I have to work, then you're not going to the party, right? Sorry, kid.
Sorry, kid.
You could take Santino and Nola, and they could do some more fun.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Yes, I don't know about any of you all, but when you have parties for your kids or you're planning a party, do you say only the kid I invited can come, or is the whole family invited? Because that's like interesting. When they're in elementary school, they're still little. So it's kind of
Right.
like, if they're teenagers, I get it. Like the siblings don't want to
Sure.
come. But in first grade, do you still open it to the little brother and sister? Or do you say, nope, sorry, only that kid can come?
Yeah, it's like you got to get a babysitter just
to go to a birthday party?
To go to a birthday party. Like
I mean-
you're just not going to come probably.
I mean, I get it. People, they have their limits on how many people they can invite. But I mean, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like maybe we're not going to the birthday party.
Monica says she does the whole family.
So do we. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, Monica, you and Val can come, but Zoe got to stay home.
Can you imagine?
That'd be horrible.
Can you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
poor Zoe's at home crying because she can't go to the party. That
Well,
doesn't make no sense.
Nola said, do I get to go to Scooter's Jungle too? I'm like, I'm sorry, baby. If they have enough room, then you can go. I won't know until the last minute.
Yeah,
Poor
so
thing.
Monica, she'd rather not go to the parties if you can't take exactly.
That's true. I know. How do you like
Exactly.
break their heart? And then Raph said, I invite to everyone. Us too.
Same thing.
Oh, man.
That poor kid's gonna have nobody show up to his party.
I need everybody, or all the only children will be there.
Yeah, all the only children will be there for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel you on that. So that's what we have planned for this weekend. And it sounds like it's going to be super busy.
For the Hafez party, we can all go to that party.
Yes, thank goodness. I'm excited about that. So how's everybody's summers going so far? Have the parents survived the first half of the week of summer break? I know we have, because we've been having fun, but our kids are over at Grandma and Papa's today for the first time, and they're so excited.
They're so excited. They not only love their grandparents, but they love their cousins. They're more like siblings because they grew
They
up together
are, yes.
at Grandma and Papa's, right? So, I can't wait to hear about how much fun they had today.
Yes, I told them this morning and they were just jumping up and down. I can't wait to go see them. So they're there at Grandma and Papa's, and Monica said, not great, laugh out loud. Oh, it's because you're not feeling good. Oh, well, your summer's going to get better. It can't get worse. It's going to get better.
Need some Corey and Monica time.
We need to have a play date. Oh, all of them are sick? Oh, no.
The bright side of you all being sick now is you're not going to be sick during the summer.
Yeah, remember
Just get
how,
out of the way.
Monica, you know how it is. It's usually like one at a time and it passes, and then not everyone's not sick just for 1 week. It's like over the whole month. At least you guys are all sick together and it's not going to get drawn out. Got to look at the bright side of things, right?
Yeah, if you need anything, we could bring it by tomorrow once we have 2 cars.
I could send you anything you need. In the meantime, let us know. We're here for you. I hope you feel better. Aw. Well, everybody, is there anything else you would like to share?
I think that's going to be our show.
Okay, so it's going to be our show today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on R&R Relationships and Real Estate. Be sure to check us out here weekly on Facebook, live at noon. We're your hosts, Corey and Chris Silva. We will catch you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.